Have you ever wondered why moths always seem to be attracted to light? It's a common belief, but did you know it's not entirely accurate? Moths use natural light sources to navigate. When they encounter artificial light, it can confuse them. But that's just a fraction of the moth's world. There are over 160,000 known species of moths, each one more fascinating than the last. Isn't it fascinating that these tiny creatures have so much to tell us? Did you know moths are not just dull brown insects but come in a rainbow of colors? Yes, that's right. Moths are a fascinating group of insects with over 11,000 species in the United States alone. These species come in a variety of sizes, from the tiny western pygmy blue that's just half an inch wide to the grand atlas moth with a wingspan reaching up to 12 inches. And it's not just the size that varies. Moths also come in a wide range of colors and patterns. Some moths are as vibrant as butterflies, with dazzling hues of blues, reds, and yellows. Speaking of butterflies, did you know that they are actually a type of moth? That's right. Butterflies are just day-flying moths. Let's look at one of the most interesting moths of all, the silk moth. This moth is particularly known for its role in silk production. The caterpillars of the silk moth produce silk to create their cocoons. This silk is collected and used to create the luxurious silk fabric we all know and love. Isn't it amazing to think that such a simple-looking creature can contribute so much to our lives? So, moths are not just nighttime nuisances, but significant contributors to our ecosystem and economy. Next time you see a moth fluttering by, remember, there's more to them than meets the eye. Ever wondered how these fascinating creatures come into being? Let's delve into the captivating journey of a moth's life, which begins as a tiny egg. A female moth lays hundreds of eggs on the leaves of a host plant. After a few days or weeks, depending on the species, these eggs hatch into caterpillars or larvae. These caterpillars are tiny eating machines. They munch on the leaves with gusto, growing larger with each bite. As the caterpillar grows, it sheds its old skin several times in a process known as molting. After a few weeks of non-stop eating and growing, the caterpillar is ready for the next big step, the pupa stage. The caterpillar finds a safe place, often on the underside of a leaf or hidden in the bark of a tree. Then it spins a cocoon around itself using silk it produces. Inside this protective covering, the caterpillar undergoes an amazing transformation, or metamorphosis. It breaks down its old body and reforms into an adult moth. This transformation can take anywhere from a few weeks to several months, depending on the species. The adult moth finally emerges from the cocoon, ready to start the cycle all over again. This metamorphosis process is very similar to the transformation of a butterfly. It's a brilliant example of how nature works, with each stage serving a specific purpose in the moth's life. The life cycle of a moth is a wonderful example of nature's magic, isn't it? Did you know that moths play a vital role in our ecosystem? That's right. These seemingly small and unassuming creatures carry out some pretty big tasks. Let's start with pollination. Just like bees and butterflies, many species of moths are pollinators. They flit from flower to flower, sipping nectar, and in the process, they inadvertently pick up pollen and transport it to the next flower they visit. This helps plants reproduce and grow. And we all know how crucial plants are for our survival, but that's not all. Moths also serve as a food source for a variety of animals. Birds, bats, spiders, and even other insects dine on moths. Their existence supports the survival of these species, maintaining a balanced and thriving ecosystem. Moths also act as environmental indicators. The diversity and number of moth species in an area can tell us a lot about the health of that environment. If there's a rich variety of moths, it generally means the environment is healthy. But if moth numbers dwindle or certain species disappear, it could be a sign that something's not quite right. So, the next time you see a moth fluttering around, remember, they're doing important work for our planet. They're not just nighttime visitors attracted to our lights. They're pollinators, a valuable food source, and environmental watchdogs. In their quiet, unassuming way, they're real-life superheroes.